Good day everyone, my name is Tracy Dominguez and now we're gonna be explaining the very important statistic called central theorem. We started with a simple game, rolling a die. Objective: illustrate the central limit theorem, understand the behavior of SLT, solve the main and standard deviation of the sampling distribution of the sample's mean. Let's investigate. Consider a rolling die once if the concept is strength and weakness as a part of your unique self. Let's investigate. Today, you will be an investigator. Remember the experiment rolling a third die once. We have 6 possible outcomes there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 pieces of a die. We computed the mean, and the mean is 3.5. We also computed for the variance. In the standard deviation, we also created histogram. And it's a uniform distribution because every limit has an equal chance to being selected. They have the equal probability. Now, I assume that I roll a die 10 times. I generated random numbers in Excel for the experiment. I computed the main and my sample main is equal to 3.2. If you will do this, there is a big chance we won't have the same result because like what I said, these numbers are randomly generated and then I created its histogram since I only have one mean, I only have one bar. There is nothing reality interesting here, right? This is why I generated more random numbers. This is I generated 10 set to 10 numbers, random numbers from 1 to 6. The face of the die 10 here is my sample size. And 10 here is the number of set I computed for the main of each set. These are all my sample mains because these are my sample per set and then I solved for the main of the sample mains and I got 3.32. When I created the histogram, here it is. It is much interesting than the first one, right? Now, I continue generating random numbers. This time I made my sample 30 and for 200 set. The main of all sample means is still 3.50 and here is the histogram. Now, let us combine all the histograms and let's investigate what do you observe. In the histogram, I increased the number of my sample size. It is becoming more of a bell shape, meaning all in increases. It approaches normal distribution. Amazing, right? Now, let's focus our attention on the mains. Let us recall that our population mean is 3.5. As I increase the sample size, the mean of the sample means approaches 3.52. In fact, here it is already 3.5. It is because we have learned I increased the number of my sample size. It is becoming more of a bell shape, meaning as in increase, it approaches normal distribution. Now, let's focus our attention on the means. Let us recall that our population mean is 3.5. As I increase the sample size, the mean of the sample means approaches 3.52. In fact, here it is already 3.5. It is because we have learned from our previous lesson that the mean of the sampling distribution of the sample means is equal to population mean, we were able to prove that in this experiment.
The central limit theorem states that giving a population with mean and standard deviation and taking sufficiently large random samples with replacement from this population, the sampling distribution of the sample's mean will be approximately normally distributed. And we saw that in our experiment, when we took sufficiently large random sample, the sample mean become more normally distributed. But how large is sufficiently large? As a rule of thumb, sample size of n greater than or equal to 30 are considered sufficiently large. What else CLT tell us? We already know that as a sample size increases, the sampling distribution or the sample's means approach normal distributions. Let's continue. Regardless of the shape of the original population distributions. What do we mean by this? If the population is normally distributed, then the sampling distributions of the sample's means is also normal. But what if the population is not normal distributed, or you don't know the nature of the distributions? Let's say, here's regardless of the shape of the original population distributions. So, whether the population is normal or uniform like our experiments, enrolling a fair, die once squad, meaning learning on one side, is could be one the left on the right, or totally random at all the sampling distributions of the sample means will still approach a normal distribution. Here more. The sampling distributions of the sample means get narrowing as the sample size increases. Let's recall our last three pictures because here we have sufficiently large random samples. When my n is equal to 30, the range of the samples means is from 2.67 to beyond 4.17. When my sample size is equal to 50, the range of my sample means is from 2.98 to 4.08, narrowing 2.67 to 4.17. When my sample size is equal to 100, the range of my sample means is from 3.02 to 3.95, narrowing the 2.98 to 4.08. So, as the sample size increases, the spread of the distributions is getting narrowing. Why? Because the means is getting more concentrated in the center. Some things to remember about CLT. The means of the sample means is equal to the populations. Means, we have already proven this in our previous lessons, and we saw this in our experiment today. The variance of the sample means is equal to the population variance divided by the sample size. In symbol, the variance of the samples means is equal to the variance of the populations divided by the sample size, and the standard deviations of the sample means is equal to the standard deviations of the populations divided by the square root of samples size. This actually come from here. When we take the square root of the variance, that will become the standard deviations. So taking the square root of the variance of the sample means is the standard deviation of the sample means. Taking square root of the population variance is the population standard deviations, and taking the square root of this is a square root of n. Also from our previous lessons, The sample size increase the standard deviations of the sample means or the standard error of the mean decreases. You saw this earlier when we discussed the spread of the sampling distributions. As n increases the spread of narrowing, that is the standard deviation decreases as n increases now. What is the importance of central limit? Since most of the population parameters are unavailable by getting several samples that are sufficiently large, we can create sampling distributions of the sampling means that we can use to make assertions about population parameter. Let us do extra challenge.
Summary. The central limit theorem states that giving a population with the mean and the standard deviation and taking sufficiently large random samples with the replacement from this population, this is sampling distribution of the sample means will be approximately normally distributed. The mean of the sample means is equal to the population mean. The variance of the sample means is equal to the population variance divided by the sample size. The standard deviation of the sample means is equal to the standard deviation of the population divided by the square root of the sample size.